When I was younger, we used to go for drives every Sunday after church, which I enjoyed very much. Sometimes we'd go for picnics and go to see different things. My desire for travel, I guess when I was young, it wasn't as apparent as it is when I get older. Uh, then when I met my wife and we started to go for drives a lot, we both enjoyed it and we'd go to different areas and see different things, and it became something that we loved doing together. When I met my wife in the 90s, we started going for drives, and we used to go a lot to New Hampshire, Vermont. We traveled all over New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and we'd stay in hotels, bed and breakfasts, different areas. Uh, Tried camping a couple of times, and until later on, after we got married in 1995, after about 15 years, I'd say, we thought about going across Canada. And so we went across the U.S., up into Canada, and back home again. So that was our biggest trip of a lifetime. And when we would go away on these trips on the weekends, and if we went for a week or whatever it may be, it always was adventure from the time we left the driveway until we got home. We enjoyed every moment of it. As I said earlier, sometimes, most times we'd have hotels and stuff. And then one time we tried tenting. We had bought a tent at a yard sale before we left home. And all the time we did travel, we'd always stop and try to find a hotel, but it was later at night. And we couldn't find it, so the time we went tenting, we did the same thing. And of course, we put the tent up by using the headlights of the car. Never tried the tent when we were home, so as we were setting it up and using the headlights in the car, we found out we had a big rip along the edge of the tent, down by the ground. And I guess you should check things out before you end up using them. And as we traveled, what we really were interested in was mountains and, lakes and waterways, and we enjoyed that, and also the small towns, the little towns that remind you back in the day when you were younger. So, and architecturally wise, that's something I enjoy very much. See the different areas that you travel to, the different styles of homes and the way people were. So, the last big trip we did do was across the U.S., up into BC and back across Canada to home. In that trip, we were gone 45 days. We did 17,500 kilometers, and we actually didn't want to come home. So I would say it kind of gave us the bug of wanting to travel like that, see new places and meet new people, and have fun and just enjoy it all. But like someday, maybe turn it into you traveling in a van and just enjoying that and be gone for 4 or 5 months at a time. And after that trip, we kind of looked at the idea that this was like I say, a trip of a lifetime, and if we always wanted to do it, but we never did. But something came up, and it was at that point that we got to do it. We got to do it now. I always live on a thought, and I tell even young people, if you're going to do something, if you have the opportunity to travel or to get away to somewhere different, do it. Because if you wait until you get married and then you have a family, or you don't have a family, it's just that work and everything takes over and you never enjoy life. So then when you do retire, a lot of the time you get to enjoy that because you like to start doing it. But the thing is, something maybe happens to your loved one, your wife or your husband, and then they die, and it's like you don't have that opportunity to do these things together. With us, it's like my wife would say, the trip was great, but the whole thing about it is is that we got to do that trip of a lifetime together, which a lot of times people don't have that opportunity because they wait till they're retired. Don't wait till you retire. Take the time and do trips once in a while. Enjoy them while you can. When we left on our last big trip that I mentioned earlier, we had a combination of things that we did, and we stayed in hotels, motels, bread and breakfasts. We did tenting, probably 20 nights of tenting. Stayed with my sister, met some friends, stayed with them a few nights. So it was kind of a different, varying way where what we did or how we did things, and it was quite interesting. I mean, a lot of people, you tell them that we tented for 20 nights, in a tent, traveling across the U.S. and Canada. They said, "You tented? Like at your age?" It doesn't matter how old you are, you can tent any time you want. It's all depending on what you can afford. And at that point, it was like, that was it. So, in order to do that, we had to do some of that. Some people, maybe lots of money and you stay at top rate hotels. But then a lot of times you miss a lot of interesting things out there. All the different ways of camping and tents and teepees and different styles of home, a wagon that was hauled by horses. You could sleep in one of those. So it was all different. It was fun, and it was very enjoyable to do it. After the trip, we looked at time what we were going to do next, but then, of course, the same as everybody else, the pandemic, or about a year ago, whatever, kicked in, and all restrictions, and nobody could travel here or there, so you were kind of restricted in what you could do. So we decided we started a YouTube channel and a Facebook page to put some of the stuff we've done, just to give people something to look at what we did, and anybody out there that wants to enjoy it can enjoy it. And as the pandemic continues and once it's over, we'll look at doing some traveling and bring you along with us. So until next time, be happy and treat people like you'd want to be treated yourself.